You may not know, but our planet seems to be throwing a tantrum lately. Floods are turning streets into rivers, and tornadoes are waltzing through towns like they own the place. It's enough to make you want to invest in a lifeboat and a storm cellar, right? But seriously, what's going on? We've all seen the headlines: record-breaking floods devastate coastal city, tornado outbreak leaves trail of destruction. It's unsettling to say the least. We can't just ignore these events and hope they go away. It's time to dive into the why, the how, and the what can we do. So, buckle up, dear viewers, as we embark on a journey to understand why Mother Nature seems to be throwing a fit. From torrential downpours to swirling vortexes of wind, we're going to break it all down for you. According to the National Weather Service, there has been an observable increase in the frequency of extreme weather events, including floods and tornadoes, in recent decades. Remember that time when Hurricane Harvey caused massive flooding in Texas? It dumped over 60 inches of rain, causing $125 billion in damage. Yeah, that wasn't an isolated incident, and who could forget the 2011 Joplin tornado outbreak? It resulted in 158 fatalities and over $2.8 billion in damages. These events are becoming more common, and the data paints a pretty clear picture. Now, we're not here to just throw scary statistics at you and call it a day. We're going to dig deeper and explore the factors contributing to this alarming trend, because understanding the problem is the first step to finding solutions, right? Here's the elephant in the room: climate change. It's a hot topic, pun intended, and for good reason. Scientists have been warning us for years that our actions have consequences, and it seems like Mother Nature is finally sending us the bill. Climate change can lead to warmer temperatures, which in turn can supercharge storms and create conditions ripe for both floods and tornadoes. Warmer air holds more moisture, leading to heavier rainfall and a greater risk of flooding. And as for tornadoes, well, let's just say they thrive on the instability that climate change brings to our atmosphere. But hold on a minute. Before we jump to conclusions and blame it all on climate change, it's important to consider other factors at play. Remember those quaint little towns we used to see in old movies with sprawling green fields and meandering streams? Well, those seem to be going the way of the dinosaurs. Urbanization, my friends, is on the rise, and it's changing the landscape, literally. As we pave over more land to make way for cities and suburbs, we create a recipe for disaster when it comes to flooding. Concrete and asphalt don't exactly absorb water like soil does. Instead, they act like giant slip and slides, sending rainwater rushing into storm drains and overflowing rivers. Think of it this way. Imagine pouring a bucket of water onto a grassy field versus pouring it onto your driveway. Which one is going to lead to a mini flood in your backyard? You get the picture. Our cities, for all their modern marvels, aren't exactly designed with flood prevention in mind. Now let's talk about trees. They're not just pretty to look at. They play a crucial role in regulating our planet's water cycle. Trees act like giant sponges, absorbing rainwater through their roots and releasing it slowly back into the atmosphere. But here's the catch. We're chopping them down at an alarming rate. Deforestation, driven by factors like agriculture and logging, is disrupting this delicate balance. Without trees to act as natural buffers, rainwater runs off the land more quickly, overwhelming rivers and increasing the risk of flooding. It's like removing the shock absorbers from your car. You're in for a bumpy ride. And it's not just about floods. Trees also help to prevent soil erosion, which can worsen flooding by clogging rivers and reducing their capacity to carry water. So, the next time you see a tree, give it a hug. It might just be saving you from a soggy basement. Hold on to your hats, folks, because now we're entering the unpredictable world of weather patterns. From El Niño to La Niña, these cyclical climate events can have a major impact on weather conditions around the globe. And guess what? They're not immune to the effects of climate change either. Some scientists believe that climate change is causing these weather patterns to become more extreme and less predictable. This means we could be in for more intense periods of rainfall in some areas, leading to, you guessed it, more floods. And as for tornadoes, well, they love a good dose of atmospheric instability, which these shifting weather patterns can provide in spades. It's like Mother Nature is playing a game of climate roulette, and we're not entirely sure where the ball will land. One thing's for sure, though. Understanding these complex weather patterns is key to predicting and preparing for future extreme events. You know what they say, water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. But in this case, it's more like water, water everywhere, and it's all headed straight for your basement. That's right, folks, we can't talk about extreme weather without talking about the ocean. As our planet warms due to climate change, the oceans are absorbing a huge chunk of that excess heat. Think of them as giant sponges, soaking it all up, but just like a sponge can only hold so much water, the oceans are reaching their limit. And when they get too warm, well, let's just say they tend to throw a tantrum or two. Warmer ocean temperatures fuel the formation of stronger hurricanes and typhoons, which can bring devastating storm surges and torrential rainfall leading to, you guessed it, catastrophic flooding. And as if that wasn't enough, warmer waters also mean more evaporation, which adds more moisture to the atmosphere, creating a recipe for even heavier downpours. Hold on tight, because now we're going for a ride on the jet stream roller coaster. You've probably heard of the jet stream, that high-altitude river of wind that circles the globe. It's like the wind's version of a superhighway, carrying weather systems from one place to another. But here's the thing, climate change seems to be messing with the jet stream's usual route, making it wavier and more erratic. Imagine someone took a giant garden hose and started waving it around like a crazy person. That's kind of what's happening to the jet stream. This erratic behavior can cause weather patterns to get stuck in place, leading to prolonged periods of heavy rainfall in some areas and persistent drought in others. And as we've already established, prolonged rainfall is a recipe for flooding disasters. It's like the jet stream is playing a game of atmospheric hopscotch and we're the ones getting drenched. Here's where things get a little scary. Climate change and extreme weather events can create a vicious feedback loop, feeding off each other and making the problem even worse. It's like a hamster wheel of doom, and we're the ones stuck running in it. For example, as forests are cleared for agriculture or lost due to wildfires, which are also becoming more frequent and intense due to climate change, there are fewer trees to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This excess carbon dioxide contributes further to global warming, which in turn worsens the conditions that lead to more extreme weather events, including floods and tornadoes. It's a sobering thought, but understanding these feedback loops is crucial if we want to break the cycle and mitigate the worst effects of climate change. We can't just sit back and wait for the storm to pass. We need to act, and we need to act now. We humans are a resourceful bunch. When faced with the threat of flooding, our instinct is to build barriers, to hold back the tide with concrete and steel. Levees, dams, floodwalls, we've tried them all. And while these engineering marvels can provide a sense of security, they're not without their drawbacks. Levees, for instance, are essentially giant walls built along riverbanks to contain floodwaters. Sounds good in theory, right? But imagine squeezing a water balloon. The water has to go somewhere, and it often ends up displacing the problem downstream. This can lead to even worse flooding in other areas, sometimes with catastrophic consequences. Dams, on the other hand, are designed to control the flow of water, often for hydroelectric power generation or irrigation. But these massive structures can also disrupt natural river ecosystems, alter sediment flow, and even increase the risk of earthquakes in some areas. It's a bit like playing Jenga with the environment. Sometimes, removing one piece can have unintended consequences. Remember that beach vacation you've been dreaming of? Well, you might want to book it soon because those sandy shores aren't exactly sticking around. Sea levels are rising, folks, and coastal communities are feeling the heat, or rather, the water. As global temperatures rise, glaciers and ice sheets melt at an alarming rate, adding more water to the oceans. And as if that wasn't enough, warmer water expands, further contributing to sea level rise. This encroaching sea is swallowing up coastlines, displacing communities, and increasing the risk of flooding during storms. Imagine building your dream house on a sandcastle. That's essentially what we've done in many coastal areas. And as the tides creep higher, those castles are starting to crumble. It's a stark reminder that our actions have consequences, and the ocean is not afraid to send us the eviction notice. We humans love to feel in control. We crave certainty in an uncertain world. So it's no surprise that we've invested heavily in weather forecasting technology, hoping to get a heads up before the next deluge or twister strikes. And while weather forecasting has come a long way, predicting the precise timing and location of floods and tornadoes remains a challenge. It's like trying to predict when a bubble will burst. You know it's going to happen eventually, but pinpointing the exact moment is tricky. Sophisticated computer models, satellite imagery, and on-the-ground observations all play a role in helping us prepare for extreme weather events. But Mother Nature often has other plans, throwing us curveballs in the form of unexpected atmospheric shifts or localized weather patterns. It's a humbling reminder that despite our best efforts, we're not always in control of the elements. We humans have a knack for building skyscrapers that pierce the clouds, bridges that span vast rivers. We've reshaped the planet in our image, but our creations clash with the natural world. Floods and tornadoes often leave us on the losing side. Concrete and asphalt cover what was once permeable ground. Rainwater becomes an urban deluge, overwhelming storm drains. Our urban landscapes aren't designed to handle Mother Nature's whims. We need to rethink our relationship with nature and design cities that work with, not against, it. Mother Nature speaks to us in whispers and roars. Sometimes she has to raise her voice to get our attention. Floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, her wake-up calls. Are we listening or hitting the snooze button? We can't afford to ignore the warning signs. Pay attention to the science, the data. Listen to the stories of communities devastated. It's time to wake up and take action. Can we weather the storm? Even if we stopped emitting all greenhouse gases tomorrow, we'd still face climate change consequences for decades. The planet has already warmed and the effects are being felt globally. So what can we do? We can adapt. We're known for our ability to innovate and overcome challenges. This means investing in resilient infrastructure like seawalls and levees, and developing early warning systems to minimize the impact of extreme weather. It's an investment in our future to ensure we can weather the storms to come. Well, there you have it, folks. We've journeyed through swirling storms, raging floods, and even taken a spin on the jet stream roller coaster. We've seen how climate change, urbanization, deforestation, and those wacky weather patterns all play a part in this dramatic increase in extreme weather events. It's a lot to digest, we know, but the key takeaway here is that these issues are interconnected and affect us all. Whether you live in a coastal city, a rural town, or somewhere in between, the impacts of climate change are becoming impossible to ignore. But hey, we're not about to leave you feeling doom and gloom. Remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the causes and consequences of these extreme weather events, we can start taking action, both individually and collectively, to create a more sustainable and resilient future. What do you think is the biggest contributor to this increase in floods and tornadoes? Is it climate change, urbanization, something else entirely? Head down to the comments section and let us know your thoughts. And hey, while you're at it, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and that notification bell for more eye-opening videos that make you say, you may not know, but now I do. Your comments and questions help us create content that matters to you. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.